So we're here with Marko Francišković. We're in Sarajevo. We're about to have a nice interview with our brother.
Yeah.
How you been?
Fine, thank you.
Alhamdulillah. We're going to be discussing some of the chapters and things that you discuss in your book. Very interesting. A lot of good information that's there that we'll be discussing here. Keep tuning in.
You're a warrior, brother. And you see, it's funny, you haven't read this book, but the book begins with words, exactly. Here, it says, I'm a warrior.
You had talked about with your family some of the hardships, like back, and other people can relate. Like I have a friend, Goran, who accepted Islam, and then he went back to his area, and then they started really giving him problems. He fell in a deep depression. You had some similar situations with that, and how did you handle that?
How do I handle? It's not easy. It's you're human, and of course that it hurts you. Especially if someone is more close to you, it hurts you more.
Yeah.
But you just have to, forgive them, understand their lack of knowledge. They are influenced. They have prejudices, and you have to see all these, your hardships, as a kind of a test of your faith.
Do you see the irony here? It's like everything that people are pointing towards Muslims, like being intolerant, being barbaric, all this stuff. It's like
they're the one, but they don't see it.
Isn't that crazy?
They're blind, blind and deaf, and they're accusing me of something, and automatically they're putting me in this, kind of box.
Yeah.
They have prepared.
Yeah.
In their conscience, in their mind, they're putting me in this, box, and there's no question about it.
So that's like media. Do you think they're victims of the mass media manipulation?
Right.
So now they've taken their information from he said, she said, third-party sources, and then
all these pictures, all these which are every day repeated, horrible pictures, horrible scenes, and it's this everyday shocking pictures, shocking stories.
Yeah.
And they have built up these beliefs, which are totally wrong.
Yeah.
But they are convinced that they are right.
Yeah, but the only thing you're trying to do is you're trying to humbly, sincerely worship your Creator alone, the one God. You're trying to be a good human being. You're not trying to harm anybody.
Right.
I mean, because that's, have good manners, good character.
And people are scared. They're put in a state of fear.
Yeah.
And when you're put in a state of fear, your reasoning cannot function normally.
Yeah.
And they don't understand. They're so afraid. You're Muslim. Maybe you'd blow up just in front of us spontaneously. It's comical in a way. But. This is how it is.
It's nonsensical. It's like, in a way, like you said, it's comical. It's it's beautiful how when you really open your mind and your heart, and it seems like sometimes just to get to that stage, people are so blocked and reserved. But that's why it's so important, obviously, that we show through our good manners and our character, because the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he said, I have not been sent except to perfect good akhlaq, good manners, right? So what do you think there? Sometimes even you have all this information, but people, until they see some things in action.
Right. And my experience is, in these cases, there is no point in going into debates.
Yeah.
No point in trying with this reason to unlock their program. They're like hypnotized.
Yeah.
My experience is only through these good manners, through the way of the heart, to touch their hearts, not to try to change their minds, because their minds are kind of fixed, cemented.
Yeah.
But it's better to try to go after their hearts through kindness, through some showing some, nice things.
being compassionate.
Right.
Yeah, that's sometimes we get upset. You know, a lot of us made that mistake because it's so simple to understand. It's so simple. Islam, submission to the Creator, not to creation, doing good deeds. Look, the proof and evidence. We're not blindly following this. You know, it's look at the evidence.
Yeah.
Look at all these things that if you look at it, you'll be here or I'm also. But they're not thinking. It reminds me of that. You know, the story we have. When Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he was helping the elderly lady with her bags or merchandise, whatever it was, and he was walking with her, and she was telling him while they were walking, you know the story, she was saying, stay away from this man, she was slandering him, she didn't know that was him.
That was him, right.
He was being so kind to her, so nice to her, and she was so impressed by him, and then at the end, after this long journey together of him accompanying this elderly lady, helping her with her bags and whatever else to get her to her destination, finally she said, let me give you some advice, stay away from this man, and then she asked, who are you? And she said, I'm that man.
And if he, from the beginning, he didn't do this way, if he started to say, no, you are wrong, I'm about me, I'm the good one, she wouldn't bite, she would still think he is a bad one. But this way, you know, by helping her, being so good for her, he could reach her.
Yes.
And change her mind.
And later, then she ended up accepting Islam.
Right.
Yeah, it was a beautiful story. Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And this is the example for us how to behave.
Beautiful.
Not to go into this too much, these hard debates. You know, even not to. We have all the arguments on our side. We have to be careful not to humiliate the opponent.
Yes, that's important. Like I always say, leave room for the person. Because now their ego gets in the way, and they want to prove they're right. Yeah, but I think like you did, anyone who sincerely comes into looking into the evidence of Islam with an open heart, open mind, and sincerely wanting to know the truth, it's so blatantly clear.
Right.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist or a PhD to figure this out.
It's for simple man, for every man that doesn't have to have a high education to understand basic principles.
Yeah. We're here at the studio. We just finished recording a really great segment with our guest here in Sarajevo. Much love and salams to all the brothers here at the studio doing a fabulous job. Thank you, brothers. Jazakallah khair. Keep tuning in and look out for this amazing episode we just did. Some great information. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe right now so when it comes out, inshallah, you guys will be getting it to you. You were saying Allahu Akbar. What does that mean for the people that never heard this term, Allahu Akbar? And why do you instinctively say Allahu Akbar?
Because when we see, when we hear, when we get knowledge about something what we never met before, this is like like a standard practice. To say these words Allahu Akbar, supporting of this kind of situation, this kind of information, like our initial.
How do you translate that in English and in the language?
Bog je najveći, Allah je najveći. That means that there is nothing happening without His knowledge, without Allah. It's in short.